and we see that we were able to run it from the previous video. Okay, so now we can move to the next step, which is to model and execute our first process. Click here and see what they say. In this section, you will learn how to create your first BPMN 2.0 process with the Camunda modeler. So let's say steps, start with a simple process, start by modeling a simple process, okay? And, oh, it says new file, BPM diagram. So we're gonna go file, new file, BPM diagrams, BPM diagram. And I'm gonna be picking the first one, the platform, because I'm not using the cloud version. Okay, so we got that. Start by model a simple process. And it says here, double click on the start event. A text box will open. I guess it's start event. Double click. Payment retrieval requested. Click on start event. From this context menu, select activity shape. The run the, okay, that's an activity shape. And it says we can drag it if we want to. Let's see, yep, yeah, we can drag it. And it says here that we have to name it charge critical. So I'm just gonna copy this. Charge critical. We're gonna change it to a service stack by clicking on the activity shape and using the range. So I guess that's how we change the type. We do service task. Add an event and event name payment received, which I am guessing is this. Let's see. That's not it. This is it. Create an event. So I'm gonna drag it here and see, or you know what? I think we're supposed to do it from here. There you go. An event. Now it's appended to that. And I'm going to call it payment received. Then, oh, usually I just click on Control S to save. I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to save it somewhere in my computer. I am looking where I'm in the other screen. I'm going to call it tutorial 1. I actually, when I'm doing working on tutorials, and I should just save it in mid progress. There are different ways to execute service tasks using Camunda platform. This guy will use external task pattern. But the properties tab of the Camunda modeler and click on the service tag you just created. Properties panel, this guy right here. And then to external. There you go. Charge card as a topic. Oops. There you go. Because we're modeling an executable process, we should give it an ID and set the isExecuted property to true. Alrighty, and that will be activity. First, configure an ID for the process. Type payment retrieval in the property field ID. Let's do that. So we need it to be a human readable name. Second, configure the name of the process. Payment retrieval. That's the name of the process. So here we go. Oh, that's interesting. That change our text here. make sure next to executable property is checked. What is the executable? I do not have that version tag. Maybe it's over here. Listeners, input output, fill injections, extensions. So it appears that I don't have that. That is very interesting. So our tutorial doesn't match. Maybe I skipped. Maybe I missed. Oh, you know what? That's it. Instead of doing the information here, I was supposed to click on the empty canvas and do that, what we just did. So I'm gonna do undo, Control Z. That usually works, I think. I still do implementation, external, that's still good. But I don't need the IDs anymore. It can be the activity. And change regard should be fine. I'm gonna go back here. And here's where I change those values. The canvas itself. I did that. Payment retrieval. And it's executable. I'm gonna save this. Oh, so let's save it with that same name. So with conflicts, I'm gonna go control file, save as. And I'm just gonna save it as payment. Also, if you wanted to skip that, you could just download it from their GitHub repository. After modeling the process, we want to execute some business logic. We'll show how to use Camunda ready-to-go task clients in Java and JavaScript. Let's use JavaScript for now. Unless, yeah, let's just use, no, let's keep using Java. That is the more enterprisey way of doing things. So let's try that. So create a new Maven project. Start by creating a new Maven project in IDE. If you're using Eclipse, you can follow the steps. I'm not using Eclipse, but I do have IntelliJ. So I'm going to, in my IntelliJ, I'm going to close the project that I had before. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to do new project in my IntelliJ. And I'm going to use Maven. Pick my Java version. And I go next. I'm going to put it, let's see where I put it. I put it in here, Java. And we're supposed to name it something. They're calling it charge card worker, so we're gonna do the same thing. Oh, and then group ID, that. So IntelliJ is generating our project. Let me make this smaller. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy those dependencies. Maybe we don't need this, or maybe, oh, this property, maybe we do need it. Add it there. Now our dependencies, very important because that's where we're gonna be downloading the libraries. Notice we got some red stuff in here. I believe all we have to do in IntelliJ is to go here to Maven and then I think it's refresh over here, reload. Hopefully it will download all the dependencies that it needs. It will get rid of those errors on our definition. So notice I'm saying resolving dependencies. And in the meantime, while that's loading, we're gonna see that we need to add a Java class. And it's saying that we create the task in Java. To respond to the messaging from the process engine. So we're gonna add that. To new class. Maybe we could even do a Kotlin, but no, we're just gonna do a new class. If I remember how to do it from here. I do remember now. Main, Java, new, Java class. And then we're gonna copy this. Actually, we can actually copy the whole thing. And it's giving us an error here. We're just gonna move the package to there. And notice we got the URL to our local engine. Let's see what it's telling us. It's telling us when the process engine encounters a service task, that's it, that this little guy here, that is configured to be externally handled, which we configure like this. It creates an external task instance on which our handler will react. We're using long polling in the external task client to make the communications more efficient. Next unit shown here. So our code, let's see, they're not explaining the code, but let's go a little bit to see if we can sort of kind of know what's going on. So let's create an external task client. And then we're building it. We're telling it that we're gonna maybe listen into that endpoint. And then we subscribe. There you go. We subscribe to that endpoint. And we subscribe on the topic of charge card. Now we subscribe on that because I'm guessing that was the topic that we told it. That's the topic that we're going to be depositing messages to, or the workflow is going to be depositing messages to. And the log duration, the default log duration is 20 seconds, but you can override this. Okay, so I guess this is log duration is, it doesn't say if that's milliseconds or what. So we assume it's milliseconds, so that's probably 1 second. And then the handler is probably what's going to get executed when there's a message. In other words, when a message comes from here to here. And basically we're telling that we got to get the item and the amount, and then we're logging something. All right, and I have a feeling that they were going to explain that later. So you can run the Java application by right-clicking on the class and choosing Run as Java. Oh, so this is a separate process. It's literally a separate process running. So we're gonna run it in in IntelliJ, and to do it, I believe what you have to do is, debug, and then we have to create a new configuration. This is a Maven, and hopefully that's all we have to do to run it. Let's see. And it's telling us that that's not the way to run. So we're just gonna run it the other way. And this is an intelligent thing. This is not a Camunda thing. So I'm just gonna tell her that it's a Java, a jar application. Oh, application. Main class. Is that the main class? It is a main class. Yeah, there you go. Run. Worker. I'm gonna leave everything like as default, and then we're gonna click apply and OK. And then we're gonna debug it. So now our IntelliJ is running that. Okay, that's just some info logs. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And we're gonna skip the JavaScript. And we're gonna go next, deploy the process. Wait, what? I guess that's all we have to do for this one. So we're gonna go to deploy the process. You will deploy the process and start a new instance so you can see that your simpler process is working correctly. To deploy, in order to deploy the process, click on the deploy button. There is a deploy button here. We can name it that, payment retrieval. And yep, that's our local instance that is running. Remember, it's running in the background. We haven't stopped this one, the one that we did a while ago, that we ran a while ago. This is not the worker. This is the platform, actual platform. The worker is running over here. And then I guess I click OK. You should see a success message in the Camunda modeler. So we're gonna wait for the success message, which doesn't seem to appear. Or maybe that. Use a captcha to see the process. So go to that and then demo. Extra space, so I will delete it. Oh. Demo without a space. Demo without a space. Login. Sure, save it. Enable stages, sure. Okay. We got process definition. Wait, what? Let's see. Should be visible in dashboard processes. Payment retrieval. Yes. Right here. So let's see. In Camunda, there are different ways to start a new process instance. You can leverage the Camunda REST API to start a new process instance by sending a post request. So we can use curl. Let's try using curl. I think the new terminal from Windows has it. We'll see. Whoop. I just need to get a new tab into Okay, so I have a new tab here. I'm gonna paste a curl command and I'm gonna hit enter. Cannot bind parameter headers. So it has to be a dictionary. Oh, you must. Why do you? Oh, PowerShell. Why would you have that? Why would you have that if you're gonna implement it the way they show? Let's try this. That looks like a dictionary to me. Or not? Okay. Well, we're gonna do we might be trying Postman then. Unless you wanna try to fix this. Let me see, my other command line has it. Go command. Let me try on this one. There you go. My normal command does have it. I guess it was finding, I had some utility maybe installed curl, and that's why I have access to it. But curl is it's a utility from Linux. If you don't have it, you can surely download it, or it's part of the Linux subsystem. Mostly, you can mostly find it if you install Git and choose to have the tools be exposed in the normal command line. Well, but even that did not work either. And that's because I probably had this the wrong way. Let's see. It didn't like the port number ending in a comma. Huh. I do not like this, guys. If I do this as a string, and in here we do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. We're escaping the double quotation marks because it is a string that we need to be sending. Unmatch. That didn't like either. Well, I guess we're gonna have to use Postman. So I am opening Postman in my computer, and then we're gonna have to use it this way. Because curl didn't do it for us, at least not on Windows. Let me sign out of here. Okay, so let me get Postman here, and I'm gonna create a new request, a new collection. I'm gonna call it, what you can call it, Camunda. And then I'm gonna do a new request. It's gonna be a get. Is it a get? It's a post. It says right here, post. And then we're gonna do the endpoint. And then the body, it's gonna be that. And then we're gonna call it raw, and it's a JavaScript. I'm sorry, it's JSON. Then the other thing we're gonna be doing is we're gonna name it start payment retrieval. Let's see if we send it. Okay, we send it. So let's see what we're supposed to be doing that. So they tell us that it should be looking like this. And sure enough, it looks like that. We got a ref. Oops, that's not what I meant. In my worker console, you should now see an output. Well, let's see our worker console inside IntelliJ. Do not see anything here. I certainly do not see anything here. And I wonder why. So I added a breakpoint here. Oh, there you go. Hey, nice. It hit it. So right now, it was able to read a message, and we got item XYZ, which was part of what we told it on the variables. And also amount 555. There you go, amount and item. So these two variables, we were able to read them in our process. Okay, so we're gonna let it run. And congratulations, your first process instance is running successfully. So we were able to add a service task, this guy right here, to our process, and we were able to connect it to a custom Java class. And the next step is involve humans, but I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna close it right here. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next video.